What's up YouTube, YugioH, bringing you a 6 Samurai True King deck profile. Now, I was going to do 6 Samurai Dracos, but in my personal opinion, this build or this kind of deck and the way it works is a lot better with True Kings than it is with the Dracos, because the Dracos rely on their normal summon and so do your 6 Samurai. On top of that, I think just having the ability to go into a VFD can be total shutdown and annihilation for your opponent. It's such a strong card to get past, and then with this deck, because both the engines of 6 Samurai and the True Kings can collaborate really, really well and destroy the Fumas, get the effects off. Like, one of the best boards this can end with is like a Mistress Radiant, a VFD, and a Shien. And that's just nightmare for anyone to kind of deal with. Yeah, right, evenly matched can kind of happen, but then if you haven't been able to bait out the Shien's just going to negate it. And on top of that, VFD is going to be incredibly powerful as is. Just be able to go, cool, I'm not going to let you use your effects. So that can do a lot of damage to you as well. At the end of this, I will show you a 2-card combo to get into VFD and leave your opponent with 5 cards in their opening hand by the time they've drawn for turn. Without further ado, I'm going to crack straight into this and show you what we've got. So we start off with triple legendary 6 Samurai Kageki. This just helps get your plays going, can help your combos go, can also help your United more consistently. And on top of that, he's a wind attribute for the Wind True King. Triple 6 Samurai Fuma, no questions asked on this one. When you're playing the True King Mariamne, the Wind True King, it's incredibly powerful. Not only can you pop this with Diagram, but then popping it with Mariamne as well, you're then going to get double searches, you're going to get special summons. There's just so much you can do with Fuma, it's incredible. Double Kizaru, you don't really want 3 of this, to be totally honest, because you don't really want to open it up in hand. You open it up in hand, it's not really that much of a useful card. You want it to stay in deck, which is why you only play it at 2. And because he kind of locks himself out of searching of the same attribute, already he locks out of searching Earth attributes. But on top of that, locking himself out of course, any other attribute that hits the board on your side of the field with your True Kings and stuff like that doesn't make him as consistent or helpful at 3, so 2 is more than enough you need. Double Hatsume, really, really nice card. You banish 2 6 sand monsters from your graveyard, then target 1 in your graveyard and special summon it, except herself. So she can help push your plays for Shien plays, she can help push your plays for more searches by bringing back Kizaru, she can also help extend your plays and go into Herald of Arp Light. Double Kizan, 2 is more than enough, because sometimes you'll open up with more True Kings than you will 6 Sands, so you don't have the ability to special summon Kazan out. If we had Lithogasm with the Earth attribute, he'd be incredibly powerful and you'd definitely pay him at 3. But for now, at 2 is more than enough in my personal opinion. Because he doesn't add too much destruction effect with the True Kings, and his special summon abilities, yes, is very, very helpful and can be very, very powerful. It can help push you into like Mistress Radiant and stuff like that as worst case scenarios. But I think 2 is more than enough in my opinion. Last 6 Samurais we play is Secret 6 Samurai Gemba. This is part of your 2-card combo as well. He can be very, very helpful. He is your level 2 tuner that can go with your level 3s to push you into Shien or Shambara. But he is incredibly powerful. Plus, he gets to recycle some of your banished monsters from Hatsume, which you'll see in the 2-card combo. Next week we play Triple Mariamne. No arguments on this one. You have to play this at 3. Incredibly powerful. The fact that you're going to be popping your Fuma, getting more searches off of that, and kind of moving forward that way. On top of that, it then gives you a search as well if you destroy itself. Plus, you've got so many wind attributes in the deck that you can get the effect of banishing the top 4 quite consistently. 2 Water True King, again, incredibly powerful card. 9 times out of 10, if you destroy this with your Mariamne's effect to special summon it, you'll get a Fuma effect off, plus you're getting this to special summon out the next one, which is your True King of Agamazud, purely because you're only playing at 1, you don't play as many fire attributes. If you did play like main Ash Blossom in the deck, then you could, if you want to, be more reliant on Agamazud's main effect. But at 1, he's usually the fodder to be special summoned off of the Water True King and kind of help extend your plays there. And that way, by destroying Bathos, you're getting into a VFD straight away if you've used Ariamne's or, of course, Agamazud's effect. That's all you really need to do. And then on top of that, if you've destroyed Fuma, you're going to get more 6 Sam support off as well. Finally, we play the 1 Masterpiece, just for those times, like some of the continuous spells and traps you want on board, because they're usually there for draw fodder and you have to destroy them to get the effects off. But of those odd chances, Masterpiece can actually be a game winner and can really change the game for you. And then obviously 1 Maxi. Again, other hand traps like Drawn and Lockbird are quite helpful in the deck because it adds destruction effects, or it gives you fodder for your other True Kings as well. But Maxi is still just the most powerful hand trap in the game. Next up for the spells, we play triple 6 Sam United. This is your +2 kind of draw. Worst case scenario is if you open this with no 6 Sams, but you do have a Masterpiece or Masterpiece play available, this is quite a nice easy fodder to go for it. Triple Shien Smoke Signal, because you want to have as many opportunities to get into Fuma as you can. So you play triple Smoke Signal and 1 obviously Rhoda, and obviously those can search you out your Fuma, which is part of your 2-card combo. We then play double Shien's Dojo. There are the odd chance where you will open up more True Kings or more spells without having the ability to get a 6 Sam to board. However, being able to get a 6 Sam to board, just even if it's 1, you then got a Fuma play, so straight away you're getting Fuma, and you can kind of extend plays and move plays forward that way. You can definitely do 3, but with the ratios that I'm playing, 2 is more than enough for me. Triple Dragonic Diagram, straightforward on that one, and double Terraforming. You can play triple Terraform if you wish. There's just very little like dead card removal in this deck, so I want to maximise everything I've got on the board or everything I've got in my deck. The one Raigeki, the one Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, to kind of, you do go through your True Kings quite quickly depending on what type of opening hand you have, so being able to recycle them, as well as obviously your True Kings Return and Apocalypse that we only play at 1, along with the Gateway we play at 1 as well, incredibly powerful. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back in January to maybe 2 or 3, because 6 Sams haven't really done as big of an impact as the OCG, and the OCG have this at 3, I believe, so it's definitely an option. And then if this does come back to 3, Masterpiece becomes more interesting and more relevant, because then if you have multiple gateways, you can obviously always sack off one of your gateways once it's been used, and bring out your Masterpiece and move forward that way. The one True King's Return and the one Draco Apocalypse. Now these work best in my personal opinion in the True King version, because when you pop with Apocalypse, you get their effects off as well, and then Return can just bring that monster you've destroyed back, and then you're ready to make a VFD play like that next turn. It's very, very simple and very, very consistent. Next up for the extra deck, we play the one 6 Samurai Rihan. Really, really powerful card, but you very rarely go into him. He is there as a very, very important safety net. I definitely say play him. Don't play the deck without him. At 1 is all you need. One Trishula of the Ice Barrow. Again, ripping one from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard is incredibly powerful, and can disrupt your opponent massively. And then on top of that, the fact that he can be used for VFD overlay is very, very important, and you'll see in the 2-card combo how important he is. I like to play the one Coral Dragon and the one Charge Warrior. You get your draws off for it, plus it's a water attribute and a wind attribute for your True Kings. And then not to mention, if you do have dead cards in hand, you can pitch with Coral Dragon and push plays that way. There, obviously, if you wanted to, you could play like other synchros, to other monsters to use the ability of the tuner effect on this, but you very rarely do. You'll probably be using it more as either link fodder or, of course, destruction fodder for your True Kings. Your one High Speed Roy Shambara and your one Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. If you do cut one of the level 6s, definitely get a second Shien. The Shambara, obviously, as well as a wind, is just more for pushing game. It's more for going second. This deck goes better going second because it gets that extra card for the combo pieces, but going first, it can still be very, very damaging, especially if you get a VFD on board. You've done enough to stall your opponent out and kind of slow them out. Shambara pushes you for the games, and Shien protects you for the game. The Herald of Art Light, if you don't have the ability to go into Shien, you can go into a Herald of Art Light. Obviously, being able to banish all your opponent's monsters with this on board is very, very powerful and very, very helpful, because if it goes from hand or main deck, it is then getting banished instead, which is important because 9 times out of 10, your opponent, because it's not like the Yang Zing, it can be destroyed battle, your opponent will want to deal with this before you do anything. You're either going to be using his effect before that happens, or by banishing enough of your opponent's monsters, you're going to disrupt him enough as it is. Then we've got the one MX Saber Invoker. The kind of combo plays with this just to get you into your misses rating is quite important. So 9 times out of 10, your rank 3, you're going to be going into this when you have the ability to do so. The one number 41 Baguska and the one Tornado Dragon. Baguska just shut down your opponent. It can be used as earth material for your misses rating as well. But it's a very, very nice kind of stall for an opening slow hand. And Tornado Dragon can be very, very helpful, as well as the wind attribute, but can also disrupt your opponent massively. Tornado Dragon you can take out if you wish and you prefer something else. But for me personally, I quite like Tornado Dragon. Phantom Fortress Enter Blethnia, again, very, very important. Wind attribute can help out massively, plus the rip one from your hand. If you imagine you using the kind of combo to go into your Trishula Dragon, once you've ripped one from your opponent's hand, you could make this if you want to and rip another one from your opponent's hand. Now, if you're going first, I would probably recommend VFD over that, because even with 4 cards, your opponent can still turn the board around. But going second, this can be incredibly powerful, especially when they put stuff like bills or anything like that on board that can't be destroyed. You can just banish it instead and you push in for game. And then, of course, the one True King of all calamities, incredibly powerful card, like busted. It would be nice to see this in like a higher rarity. Like, just imagine it in Ghost or Ultimate. I think Ultimate would have made it look brilliant. Either way, it's an incredibly powerful card and very, very strong in this deck. Then for the links, we play the Mischievous Radiant, quite straightforward on that one. The Decode Talker, again, very, very straightforward. The best thing about Mischievous Radiant is, after you've unlocked your extra monster zones down there, you can then destroy it with a True King's effect, get the Earth monster back as well, so like Kazan, and move plays forward that way. Next up as well, finally, is the Akessic Magician. I really, really like this card and rate it quite highly, especially with your side deck. So your side deck with your Kaijus is, you trigger one of your opponent's monsters and put it in front of your link zone, make Akessic Magician, bounce the Kaiju back to your hand, and then obviously if you want to, you can Kaiju again. The other thing that Akessic Magician really, really helps with is when you make her, it unlocks the zone below you. So you make her, unlock the zone below you, make like VFD or make like your Shien, anything like that. Then you either destroy her with a True King's effect, or you use her to link up into Decode Talker if you want and unlock more spaces. So it helps unclog your board. It also helps open up more zones, so you can end up having 3 extra deck monsters on board. So just imagine a Herald of Arc Light. Say you open up your Soul Charge, or you put the Soul Charge in. I foolishly took it out on this, but you can definitely play Soul Charge to make it a 41 card deck. You play your Soul Charge, you've got an Akessic Magician, but then you change this into a Decode Talker, and on top of that you've then got a VFD, a Herald of Arc Light, and a Shien. You're kind of then protected for days, because you've got 3 of the most powerful negators on board, and your opponent's completely slowed down anyway. So that is just some of your options for your extra deck kind of plays. Now to get onto the 2 card combo. You need one of either of these 2, which is a Terraforming or a Dragonic Diagram, and then you need one of either of these 3, which is a Reinforcement of the Army, a Shien Smoke Signal, or a 6 Samurai Fuma. Now, 9 times out of 10, you know, you're going into these. These are your core cards. This is what you need. These are your 2 cards of your combo. You can just see the other options that you have to get to these. Anyway, so what you do is you activate Dragonic Diagram, you destroy Fuma in hand, sending her to grave. You resolve Diagram by searching out the Wind True King. You then use Fuma's effect to special summon a Kizaru to the board. Kizaru's effect will then go off to search you out a second Fuma. By doing so, your True King is now live. You use the True King's effect to destroy your Kizaru on board and your Fuma in hand to special summon herself. Your Fuma will then go off to special summon out a 6 Samurai Hatsume. You use Hatsume's effect to banish both of your Fumas and special summon back your Kizaru. Your Kizaru will then go off to search you out a Genba. Now by searching out the Genba, you have the ability, because you haven't used your normal summon, to normal summon Genba. Genba will then add a Fuma back to hand, and then you can synchro summon these guys up. And you synchro summon those 3 up and go into, of course, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, and you rip one from your opponent's hand. Now, obviously, if they've used Aspros and everything like that, then of course you can do that as well. So your opponent is now a -1 card. You overlay those 2 into your True King of all calamities, or VFD, and you sit there. Now, during your opponent's turn, you would use VFD's effect. That kind of slows your opponent down and shuts them down. Obviously, if they activate Regeki, that's fine. That's gone, but you've still got plays to make. That's from 2 cards. You still have, if that was your opening hand, you would still have 3 other cards. That could have been a Kageki, it could have been another Smoke Signal, it could have been your 6 Samurai United, it could be another Diagram, it could be another True King. Like, there's just so many options that could have been. And then not to mention, if you wanted to be a bit more reserved and you're just like, right, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip one from your hand, I'm going to make VFD, and I'm going to keep hold of all this, you've then drawn. You're then on 5 cards plus a Fuma. You've got Diagram ready to go again to pop your Fuma, or of course, if you've got anything else in there, Diagram is another option for you. So it just shows you what options this deck has and just how powerful a 2-card combo can be. Now, I don't know about you, but being able to get a VFD on board first turn can be incredibly damaging to your opponent, and you know, you've stalled them out enough that they're not going to be able to A, OTK you that turn, B, if they want to use evenly matched, you're going to keep your VFD, let your Diagram go. So you do have loads and loads of options with this deck, and it can be incredibly powerful. Anyway, I hope this has given you a couple of ideas of the deck. I find it incredibly enjoyable and very, very fun to run and play. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share for so many more videos. We will be getting you more videos out. If you do want to see anything in particular, let me know and I'll try and get that built for you and up for you guys for Thursday. Anyway, until next time guys, see ya.